Across the world, etched into stone and preserved in ancient texts, are stories that challenge everything we think we know about our past. These aren't just myths. They're accounts of strange, mysterious beings who walked the earth long before our recorded history began. These megalithic writings, found in civilizations separated by oceans and millennia, speak of figures that defy our modern understanding of the ancient world. Some cultures described towering humanoids with strangely elongated skulls. Others referenced luminous beings who communicated without a single spoken word, and many more detailed visitors who were said to have descended from the sky. As we explore these texts, it becomes clear that ancient peoples weren't just telling fairy tales, they were documenting encounters that were profoundly real to them. Encounters with beings that raise a fundamental question: who, or what, did they meet? To understand these strange beings, we have to look beyond simple archaeology. We need to dive into anthropology, symbolism, and the stunning cross-cultural consistency that connects these accounts. For example, early Andean cultures carved depictions of tall, narrow-faced individuals with large almond-shaped eyes. Thousands of miles away, ancient Middle Eastern tablets spoke of watchers, figures who came down from the heavens and taught humanity forbidden knowledge. Were these stories purely symbolic, or were they remnants of a forgotten reality? It's a question that shifts the narrative from fantasy to something unsettlingly possible. The consistency is what's truly baffling. The descriptions of height, glowing skin, and advanced knowledge about construction, astronomy, and agriculture appear again and again in cultures that couldn't have possibly communicated. Mainstream researchers often approach these texts as mythology, assuming the authors were simply blending imagination with cultural storytelling. But certain patterns defy such an easy explanation. Some scholars argue that these similarities come from humanity's shared psychological archetypes, yet others propose a more radical idea, that ancient civilizations encountered real groups of people, law beings, who no longer exist. Perhaps they were lost human species, or survivors of an advanced pre-cataclysmic society, remembered as gods or strange visitors. And then, there are the megalithic structures themselves. Massive stones, precisely carved and aligned with astronomical events, are often linked to these mysterious beings. It's hard not to wonder if ancient technological knowledge was passed down by individuals who appeared extraordinary to the local populations. These beings were often portrayed as teachers and guides, but sometimes as punishers. They brought warnings of destruction, offered knowledge about the great cycles of time, or demonstrated techniques that would shape the future of civilization. Yet their presence was almost always temporary, fleeting, as if they appeared only during key turning points in human development. While it's important not to jump to conclusions, exploring the possibility that these beings were part of a lost chapter of our history opens up a whole new way of interpreting ancient texts. Instead of dismissing these accounts as fantasy, we can see them as pieces of a much larger puzzle that suggests humanity's past is deeper, stranger, and more interconnected than we were ever taught. As we dig deeper into these ancient megalithic writings, the descriptions become even more unsettling. In regions across the globe, texts describe individuals with elongated limbs, large reflective eyes, and unusual cranial structures. Some accounts portray them as benevolent, offering knowledge about astronomy, healing, and agriculture. Others depict them as distant observers, watching humanity from the shadows, appearing only in moments of great crisis or transformation. These beings are often credited with the construction of monumental structures like cyclopean walls and massive stone temples, built with blocks so precisely fitted that modern engineers struggle to replicate them. The fact that so many cultures credit their greatest architectural achievements to figures who seemed otherworldly is astonishing. Could they have been remnants of older, more advanced societies that survived a global catastrophe, later integrating with emerging civilizations and leaving behind memories that became myth? Across Asia, Africa, Europe, and the Americas, recurring references emerged to tall, pale-skinned individuals wearing unusual garments, often described as shimmering or metallic. In other places, the beings are said to emit light or possess a presence so radiant that early humans saw them as divine. Some tablets depict them arriving after great floods or fires, guiding the survivors on how to rebuild and warning them of cyclical catastrophes that would one day return. These patterns suggest the ancient world may have been shaped by interactions between multiple human or quasi-human groups, each with different levels of knowledge and technology. The more we analyze these records, the more the lines between history and mythology blur. Some researchers believe these strange beings could represent an undiscovered branch of the human family tree, one whose skeletal remains have yet to be found. Others argue they are symbolic personifications of natural forces or celestial events. But even if they are symbols, why are those symbols so consistent across distant cultures that never interacted? The mystery deepens when we connect these beings to megalithic sites aligned with solar solstices, lunar cycles, and distant star systems. Many cultures claim that these beings taught them how to track the heavens, understand advanced mathematics, and read the passage of time through celestial markers. These teachings allowed early societies to create calendars more accurate than some we use today, and to predict seasonal changes crucial for survival. In regions where these beings were considered guardians or watchers, the stories often end with them withdrawing suddenly, promising to return or warning of future dangers. Their disappearance was frequently followed by a societal collapse, a decline in architectural skill, or a fragmentation of knowledge. This raises the incredible possibility that ancient humanity experienced periods of mentorship from groups possessing a superior understanding of science and engineering. Another recurring theme is the moral role these beings played. They appear as protectors who intervened when humanity faced existential threats, but also as judges who punished corruption, violence, or the misuse of knowledge. These narratives are echoed in flood myths, creation legends, and origin stories from Sumerian to Andean to Polynesian cultures, while critics argue these stories simply reflect universal human psychology. The detailed physical descriptions challenge the idea that they were purely metaphorical. Certain texts even mention these beings performing feats that sound remarkably like advanced technology, emitting intense light, moving silently at incredible speeds, or manipulating heavy stones with apparent ease. While this could be metaphor, the consistency and specificity of these accounts demand a closer look. As we consider the broader implications, one thing becomes clear. Ancient civilizations may have been in contact with diverse groups possessing unique traits and knowledge. Whether these beings were survivors of a forgotten civilization, an extinct human subspecies, or symbolic representations of lost wisdom, their presence in megalithic texts suggests our ancient world was far more complex than mainstream history acknowledges. They were woven into cultural memory because their impact was profound enough to shape architecture, religion, and the very development of society. Even today, their echoes persist in our myths of sky visitors, luminous teachers, and mysterious guardians who came before the Great Darkness or after the Great Flood. Ultimately, exploring these accounts isn't about proving supernatural theories, it's about taking ancient people seriously. Their writings deserve to be viewed as records of their experience, not dismissed as mere imagination. By studying them with open curiosity and academic rigor, we uncover a version of the past that is richer and more layered, a past where humanity might not have been alone, where multiple groups contributed to the rise of civilization, and where the strange beings of megalithic texts might hold the key to humanity's forgotten chapters. These stories challenge us to broaden our understanding of what came before us, and inspire us to keep digging for the mysteries still buried beneath the world's oldest stones. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey into the past as fascinating as I did, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration into the unknown.